Well, hello and welcome back. We are continuing working on our app that we have moved around. We moved it over from a Apache Tomcat, old school Java server pages, all that kind of good stuff, into a modern, newfangled Bootstrap 5 and Spring Boot standalone application, standalone web application. And this episode, we're going to get back into Thymeleaf a little bit, because what we want to do is we want to be able to generate this in Thymeleaf. Now, let me go ahead and log out here. And if you remember last time we were playing around with stuff, we've got some basics showing up here as far as our login and registration information. We're able to store some stuff, but there were some additional things that we needed to do. For example, here we have a whole list of objects. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to iterate over the list and, using Thymeleaf within there, generate this the HTML behind this. So we're going to have a couple of things we're going to look at, and I want to start with the iteration itself. So if we do something very simple, we can do within like in this case a div, we can do a th for the Thymeleaf : each, and what it's going to do is it's going to say, for this value that I send across, so list projects, which if I look at the hello controller, that is an attribute that I've added. So I have list projects, and here I'm just using a DAO. So I go in, I generate a list of these, just an actual Java list of projects. If you look at list current in the project DAO implementation, let's just go look at that real quick, and you can see here all we're doing is we're just doing a select, and then we're going to return a JDPC template. Actually, within that, it's going to take that query. It's going to go to the row mapper, which if we go to project row mapper, then you can see, so for each of these, it's going to create a project right here, if you see at the top of the line. And then we just assign out all the values based on the result set. We pass a result set, it gives us out a project for each row. And so this is, we've talked about, I think, this separately, but it's something we'll go in deeper at another point as far as using row mappers. But it's a pretty straightforward way to get from our query, which basically just says, hey, like I've got a column named project IND or project ID. It's an int. I'm going to set the ID for the project class, the project's instance, and with the row mapper, it's just for each row, it's going to go through and do that. And then that's going to kick that back out to my list, which is going to kick it out to my controller. And I can see here where I'm adding a bunch of different attributes. Now, some of these I think we'd already looked at before. So I'm basically just going in here, putting a little bit of information. Actually here, the user is USR, so I can probably do, let me go look at that real quick, because that was one of the things I wanted to do. If I look at user, does he have a get display name? He has, he does not have, he has a username. Let's just do first name. So if we go to the dashboard, one of the things we do is it's dashboard for here, but what we really want this to be is user. We're just going to do th text equals. I'll put that there. And it's going to be, what do we call it? First name, I think. Let's see if that works. Probably, if I do it like this. Okay. Anyways, slight side trip there. Let's go back to our loop. So in our loop, the most basic version is going to be whatever the attribute is, and then you're going to assign it a value. So what I've done here, which we'll talk about in a second. So if I come here, and let me do this. I just get rid of that. And here, this is the most simple thing. Let me make sure that this still works, that I didn't break something in my demo. So if I log in, boom, it gives me these entries, but it looks like I probably blew something up in there. Not sure. Oh, no, there's that. Okay, well, it's because of the way it's set up in the div. So I don't have a lot of information about that. Oh, and that was because here, is that where it is? I think that might be it. So let's see. Can I reduce it? Oh, sorry. Dadgummit. All right, I lost it. Well, let's do it for here, because what I want is class equals row. So we'll come back to this in a second. Okay, so if I do that, and I'll show you in a second what this looks like. Oh, when it loads, there we go. So now I've got each of these values on a row, but what I want to do is something like this. I want to actually give myself like some background and do a couple other things within with this data. And what we can do there is what I did before, is we have a second value, which we'll call status. And you can name it whatever you want. You can call it status. I've seen it iStatus and things like that. And it has... Did I get rid of that? I did. Oh, there it is. It has, the status itself has a bunch of different properties. It's got count, size, first, last, odd, even. And so what we can do is we can actually tweak the class itself. And this is a CSS style class, so we have to have it, set up properly. But if I have an even and an odd for my rows, then what I can do is there's a couple of ways I can look at it. And this one, I'm going to say index, which is also one. I can do the index, which says which row number am I on. So count tells me the total number of rows. And so for example, I could say, I probably don't want to do it within this. Yeah, I'm not going to do it within this, but it'll give me, so for my index, I can give each row. So if I have five results rows in this result set, then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are my indexes, or it's actually, I'm sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It starts with 0. And basically I'm just doing a mod here, which says divide by 2 and what is the remainder. And so the remainder when you divide by 2 is either going to be 0 or 1. So if it's 0, it's an even row. And if it's odd, it's an odd row. So now if I do that, what I'm going to get is my little zebra stripe thing. Boom. Because now it's going to go, and if you look, I don't know how easy you're going to be able to read this, but if you look in here, you can see where it says row even, row odd. It's a little bit small text, but there you go. So row odd and row even is how it's generating that. So now I can get my little stripe. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to be able to add a click, which is fun. Oh, before I do that, the way I'm going through is each one of these, it goes through list projects and assigns it to this project variable. So if you note here, I can do project dot whatever, and in this case, projects are here. It is just a straight up Pojo. So what I got here, any one of these, as long as it has a get. So if I come in here and I look down here, like get fixed, fixed is a value that I could use here. Am I using it on here? Let's find out. I am. So that is the second from last column. If we look at it, here we go. This is the fixed. Fixed created. Oh, I'm sorry. It's up here. Second to last here. Is it fixed? And then you can see the creative value. So all you have to do, and what it's going to do is it's going to assume that this is a get whatever. And you do have, let me go back to where my project was. Oh, do I have status string? I think I do. There we go, status string. So it is case sensitive, and it's going to assume that your format is going to be basically, it's going to assume that it's get and set, get and set, and then it's going to assume that the next character after the get or the set is going to be a uppercase, even though you're going to do it in lowercase. So like you can see, like get name is actually get name with a capital N. However, and then if you want additional words within there, if it's camel case, like here, bid amount is get bid, capital B, amount, capital A. But if you don't have it, like I do here, this is not treated as two separate words, and you'll see it's going to look for get status, capital S, string, lowercase s, and that's because here, wherever I put that, I don't have the capital S. Otherwise, I need to do that. If I capitalize that, in one case or other, we're going to have a disconnect. So now, I can load my values in, and let's do one more thing within this, playing around with some of the values we've got, is I can actually add an event. And in this case, I'm going to do an on-click, and I'm going to do it based on the, I think I called it project, so I'm going to do it based on the project ID, if I spell project correctly. So I'm just going to do project.id. Now, there's a couple of ways. Let me show you this, and then I'm going to come back to how I just did that. So now if we look here, we can see that we've got this on click, or actually it's a, yeah, we have the on click and it does a select project and it gives you the ID, which is the ID for that project. So that way we can actually click through. We have an event. Now notice that here we've got these little pipes. And this is excellent if you're building a string that has within it only Boolean or integer values. So here, this project ID, because it is an int, it allows me to just to build a hard string, which is basically, it says, because I'm between the pipes, use this string that's right here. And then I can go in and I can just do a straight with the the squiggly brackets, dollar squiggly brackets, and then the name or the variable name. But if I take this and I change it to name, which is a string, it's going to not like that. And there we go. And I'm going to get an error because I've got a mapping issue. So I want to keep that as an int. And there are a couple of ways that we can put strings together. This one is going to be probably one of our easier ways. There are, as far as like, if I just want to build, like in this case, something where I'm sending an int ID. If I want to do it with the name itself, then I'm going to have to come in and do something like, let's see, I can do, oh, did I have my user, oh, let me rebuild this. Let me do here. Here we go. So I can do user first name. Oh, because I did that here. So this is, oh, I bet it's not liking it. Let's see, what did it do? Let's see what I got here. And it may be because I needed that int because it was part of the JavaScript that I was using, which I apologize for. If I come in here, let's see, what does it give me for the dashboard for Rob? Yes, so it does pick up user.firstname, and I can do, I believe it's like this. Since I'm within a pipe, user.lastname. And if I rebuild it, what does it give me? And there we go. So it gives me first name, last name. So I can either just do a straight variable, like if we want to do just user first name, or I can actually build a string within that based on those. There's a couple other ways we could do stuff. If we wanted to build it on a display, we could do it within the th text and try to make it work that way, or we could put a couple spans together or something like that. If it's just a simple display of a name or a string or a series of strings. So there's a couple different ways we can skin that cat, as it were. But right now, I just wanted to sort of say, hey, this is like dive in and talk a little bit about the couple more of the Thymeleaf things. And I'm just going to get rid of some of my, oh, that's not going to like that, but I need to get rid of my CHs. Okay. Anyway, or I'm sorry, my C colons, not my CHs. And I wonder if I have some more. Okay, good. I got rid of all of those. And now, since that if's not there, when I log in, I'm going to see those fields. Yep, dashboard. And then if there's a message, it's going to show up. But there isn't a message right now. So that'll do it for now. We will come back, and there are some more things that we can do within Thymeleaf, but I want to get that basic one laid out. And we're just going to continue along. Next episode, we will continue building out our application and just keep on going until we have something that is functional and have covered most of our pieces to convert our app over. If you have any questions, shoot us an email at info@developreneur.com. And otherwise, whether you have questions or not, why don't you go out there and have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time.